And get involved indeed. Welcome back to Eurovision 365. This is night four. Of course, this is the fourth rehearsal day in Liverpool, just across the water. And oh my goodness, so much has been happening. So it's a later broadcast than normal because I've been working and doing different things. So it's a bit later than we have been having these live broadcasts. But wherever you're watching this from, where you are on YouTube, the Eurovision 365 YouTube channel, or at the Eurovision 365 Facebook group, you are very, very welcome. If you are commenting on the Facebook group or from the Facebook group, if you're able to write your name at the end or the beginning of the comment, so at least I know who it is I am speaking to. Hello to you. Shalom, shalom to you from Israel. You are very welcome. I am imagining you are a very happy person this evening following the 30-second clips that we have had of the performances tonight. Bear with me a wee second to make sure I've got my microphone sorted. Oh, I have not. Well, that should be us now. That should be us now, is it? Can you hear me okay out there? Perfect. Sorry about that. Yes, so it's been a very, very busy day today. 15 countries, all 15 countries taking part at the first semi-final, took to the stage for the second time and had just 20 minutes each. It's surprising, isn't it, to think that they only have, it's extraordinary actually, that they only have 50 minutes in total to get their rehearsals into order. So obviously they have the 30 minutes for the first technical rehearsal, go away, have a little look at things, and then come back for 20 minutes. And then the next thing they're on stage, next time they'll be on stage, they will be performing in front of an audience. And of course, this arrived today in Liverpool, this lovely trophy you can see shining bright. And I wonder, will the winner come from semi-final one? Will the performer from semi-final one be lifting that trophy on Saturday the 13th of May? Well, we haven't too long to find out. So let's have a quick look at the 15 performances from today. So first up, of course, it was Norway. It was Norway, of course. And let me see here. I'm just trying to get this. Yeah, here we go. So here are the clips from today. You can see that Alessandra is wearing the same outfit that she wore on her first rehearsal, so not much has changed from that. And there we have again some photographs. And Alessandra actually was interviewed by Timur, of course, who was one of the co-presenters of Eurovision 2017 and will of course be part of the opening ceremony at Liverpool on Sunday. Alessandra was saying to him, I only had 45 seconds to reach the stage and everybody was shouting, hurry, hurry. When you feel that in your veins runs only music like blood, then you know what you want to do in your life. Alessandra says from this year's entry she likes Cha Cha Cha, and I wrote a song, and also Sweden's Tattoo, of course. She also went on to say it would be an honour to be part of Sanremo, but also as a guest. So maybe next year we could see Alessandra take the stage on Sanremo. So yes, I just was saying that as we started the broadcast. We got videos of everyone today. It was released about 30 minutes ago now on the official Eurovision TV YouTube channel. So check that out if you haven't seen it already. But yeah, it's interesting because the performers, the delegations selected and decided which 30 seconds would be used. And some of them are quite interesting that they have used. I can't share them on this live at this moment in time, but you can, if you want to look on Eurovision TV, you can see them. So Norway, I would say from what I've seen on the 30 seconds, vocally it wasn't amazing. I think it was good, but not amazing. But also performers may or not take their time to perfect their singing. They might hold back a little bit at this point in the schedules. Aoife, you are not late. The broadcast was a bit later tonight than usual. Has been 7 p.m. GMT this past few nights, but tonight and actually tomorrow night it is the later time of 9:15. But you are very welcome. You're all very welcome. We're broadcasting live across Eurovision 365 YouTube page and also YouTube channel and the Eurovision 365 debate Facebook group page. So you are very, very, very welcome as we look through the different participating countries from semi-final 2. So now it's time for the Busker.
Hello everyone, we are the Busker from Malta with our song Dance Our Own Party, and you're watching Eurovision 365.
Every day of the year, what?
Every day of the year, what? So here is the photographs from today. There's a few updated photographs. So they, of course, are wearing their party hats, and I love that scene there from the staging, and that actually was part of the 30-second clip as well. What's really interesting is that there is an interesting visuals being used. There's interesting visuals being used for Malta. There's like Lego bricks in between each scene, so they're moving obviously from different parts of the stage to the other. So the stage is quite big, it's quite expansive, but they are moving from one scene to the other. And I think what I noticed in the 30-second clip that we've seen of Malta the Busker, the lead singer was a little bit breathy when he was moving from one scene to the other, which makes sense because they're probably running from one part of the stage to the other. Hopefully that won't affect him too much when it comes to the actual semi-final, but it looks like a fun performance. So I wish the Busker well. On to then Serbia, and that is Luke Black, of course. And here are the photographs from his rehearsal. You can see the reds, very dominant colours there, the red, the black, the white, obviously that shell-like structure he is being, seashell-like structure he has been laying on to begin with, and then obviously he gets up from that. And what I noticed again today from the 30-second clips is that Luke Black is using a lot of different focal effects. There's a lot of on-screen visuals happening there, which I think really works well as too. It plays very well into the song. The other thing I noticed actually from that was at the back screen, the back LED screen, the transformer-like character in the background, which was very dominant, of course, within the Serbian national final. Does Malta remind anyone else of Croatian entry a few years ago? Which Croatian entry are you thinking of? I can't think of on my top of my head. If you can get the name of that would be cool, and we can compare. So it was a very, very, very busy day in Liverpool today. And like I said, 20 minutes isn't an awful long time for anyone really, but they are rehearsing and rehearsing and rehearsing. Now up to Southern Lights, and this is a group which are very much under the radar. They are, for me, a brilliant group. It's a kind of song I like. I've heard some of their other songs and a lot of their songs actually, and they are right up my street. Musically, I think they're great. It's just sad for me that they're not getting the attention that they're getting from fans, at least. Of course, the audience at home may have a different viewpoint, and we don't have long to find out, do we, if they do have a different viewpoint. But here are some photographs from today's gallery. So just bear with me. Yeah, here we go. So those are, the suits have arrived. The suits have finally arrived in Liverpool. There's a little bit of chaos with them in terms of getting their clothes on time, and they're quite shy coming into that dressing room, it felt like. but there is some lovely pictures. There's a lot of brightness there with the lights, obviously, sudden lights. Very, very pretty song. It's very similar, I think, staging wise to what they did at their national final. Their 30-second clip today was the beginning of the song, and that is something that's been very dominant throughout their time and throughout their the pre-parties. They were really focusing on that first part of the song. At least some of the extra practice in rehearsal studios off site. Yeah, there's actually been an awful lot of rehearsing, as you would imagine, on and off stage. Vocally, I love Sudden Lights. I think, as I said, they're a great group. Their style is very much up my street. But we shall see. Well, we'll know by this time next week who's gone through to the final. But will it be Latvia? Will it be Portugal? Because Portugal's up next. Can it be Mimikat? Again, for Mimikat, the 30 seconds, I love her, of course I do. But I felt her performance was a little bit breathy as well. Because a lot of dancing around, of course, in that number. It's a very up-tempo song. And these are some updated photographs from what we've seen on at the first rehearsal. Mimikat dressed all in red, very striking in the colour. I miss Portugal's sofa, but the outfit is better. Yeah, it's very interesting for me that they didn't bring the sofa with them. I thought they might have, but there was not an awful lot of elaborate staging really this year, which I think is a brilliant thing. But yeah, that was Mimikat, and now I'm moving swiftly through these because there are 15, of course, and we're a bit later tonight than we have been, so I'm going to move swiftly through these. But now, next up, it's Wild Youth from Ireland.
Hey, this is Wild Youth, and you're watching Eurovision 365 with the Irish boys.
Every day, not just in May, baby.
Yeah.
And that is the outfits that Wild Youth are going to be wearing on stage. Connor, of course, has settled for that gold sparkly number. The rest of the guys are mainly in black. David, the keyboardist, who's usually the main vocalist, he has got a black jacket with those gold streams on it. Carl, the drummer, who has dyed his hair blonde for the Eurovision, he's in a black leather number, and Ed is a bit more casual looking than the rest of them, has to be said. So these are photographs again, lovely bright blacks and golds. Looks good. Looks very, very good on these pictures. Graham Norton apparently was on ITV this morning and was saying that he thinks Wild Youth, if they go through to the final, could surprise people. It's a song he really likes. He thinks it's a good one. And the 30-second clip was released today, of course, of Wild Youth. And I have to say, there's for me, a strange moment in the performance where it looks like Connor is grabbing down to the stage and there's a hand coming up to him. It reminds me a little bit of Nicky Byrne from 2016 Eurovision. There's a moment, quite an awkward moment where he goes to reach the camera and doesn't quite get the camera and pulls away, and it's meant to connect, doesn't quite work visually. I think there's a danger that could happen, Connor, on his performance, but we shall see. Now moving on to Hrvatska, and this is Croatia, of course. There's nothing but colour on their on their setting, on their stage. You can see there the costumes haven't changed the whole way throughout, from the national final right through to the pre-parties, right through obviously to the Eurovision Song Contest itself. lots and lots and lots of colour. And yeah, it's a good job it's after 9 p.m. because that was one of the shots from today. And what a shot it is. I think Croatia will be a talking point at the contest this year. I don't think there's such a thing as bad talking points. I don't think it matters whether it's positive or negative talking points from Croatia. The fact that they'll be talked about, I think, will be important. And I do wish them well. I surprised myself. I went from absolutely really not liking the song to really liking it. And I think it's in part because of them actually. I can see the colour. Obviously, the song's so outlandish. It's so different. But I do think that Croatia will certainly be remembered. Who couldn't remember that? So we'll move very swiftly, shall we, from Croatia to La Suisse.
Hi everyone, it's Remo from Switzerland and you're watching Eurovision 365.
And here he is today, again, looking really nice in that black, in his black costume. The setting, very, very cool, very pretty. Obviously he's got 4 backing dancers, backing singers, and they are really adding to the overall aesthetic for Remo. Looking really cool. A picture I saw as well is on the actual stage floor. There is a lovely blue sea-like floor on the stage at a point whenever he performs, Remo. It looks really, really pretty. Speaking of Croatia, just before, Neon, you're saying, I'm no longer sure Croatia will qualify. Everyone else have stepped up their game, but they haven't. Yeah, I think I understand what you mean by that. I think that Croatia is doing what they've done from word go, which is just perform in those outlandish, colourful costumes with the rockets, with the mamash, with everything going, rockets, pyros, everything being thrown at us. And yeah, I do think it'll be remembered though, and that has to be a good thing. Cian, good evening to you. You're very welcome back as always to the channel. And of course, broadcasting live here, Eurovision 365, broadcasting live across Eurovision 365 YouTube channel and Eurovision 365 debate Facebook group. And you are all very welcome. It's day four of the rehearsals, and of course the all of semi-final 1 participants have taken part. Will any of semi-final 1 participants be the holder of this trophy on Saturday the 13th of May? Imagine that feeling, walking up to the stage, getting that amazing trophy. What an honour it would be. It's funny I mentioned that because I think right now, about to come up, is a hot, hot, hot contender to lift this very trophy. And that, of course, is Israel. So this is Israel's gallery. Israel will, Noah was interviewed by Timur earlier on. Every performer was interviewed by Timur this afternoon and throughout today for Eurovision TV. And one of the questions Noah was asked, it was actually from the audience, was, what will you do if you don't win? And Noah said she obviously wants to win, she would love to win, but I think she will take solace in performing for her country. She said she loves representing her country and she loves her song. And you know what? Israel remains my favourite at the moment overall. And also, I'm hoping, I would be very happy for Israel to win. I've got to be honest. Israel or Spain for me, Armenia, Finland, any of those songs I'd be very, very happy with winning. And I actually placed a bet on Noah a couple of days ago on her to win. So it's an each way bet. All Noah has to do is come in the top 4, and I'd be doing very well. So Eilat, of course, shalom again, and you are very, very welcome, as I said, and you'll be very happy, I'm sure. Tell me what your thoughts on the Israel performance that you saw on Eurovision TV, Elliot, if you've seen it, of course. So here are some of the photographs, as I said. That lovely box contraption that Noah has. I can see that it's, I seen from one of the photographs that it's powered, so it moves. It seems to move from one side to the other. It sort of has a very, you can see there in this photograph, it's a bit more arched in that picture there. Noah is absolutely amazing. They, of course, released the 30-second clip today as well. And interestingly, I thought it was very interesting that the Israeli delegation elected to share the dance break. And if you haven't seen it, go and see it. It is absolutely amazing. There are moments where I do think of Chanel, I've got to be honest with you, but there's something about this, it's just, I don't know, it's just even more powerful. Noah is decked by 5 backing dancers, accompanied by 5 backing dancers, and it's a very, very, very physical performance the whole way through. But what I've heard from the actual performance, the 30-second clip today, is that she is not missing a note, and I think she's probably not even trying hard. Noah, of course, was interviewed by Timur as well, and Timur had asked her about, have you been around Liverpool? She said she liked shopping. She's hoping to go shopping in Liverpool, but she has said that all she's been doing is rehearsing in between her actual physical, technical rehearsals. I think it shows, as obviously she is going for gold. Can she go for gold? Well, time will tell. So what are people saying here on the chat? You're very welcome. While you're watching this on YouTube, Eurovision 365 channel, or Eurovision 365 debate Facebook group. It's great to have you here. I hope you'll get to see those interviews at some point. Yes, we're going live all throughout today on Eurovision TV. It was on TikTok that I saw it, Neon. Speaking of Switzerland, just before, Adam, you said, I just worked out Switzerland has not sung in German since Birmingham in 1998 and Romansh since 1989. I think that was the first time ever that they sang in Romansh, I think. Thoughts on Ireland's chances? I was thinking, I love the photographs, Mark. I love the photographs that have been shared. There's a very strange moment where, for me, in the 30-second clip that was sent out today, of Conor sort of kneeling down to the circular stage, the one at the front. It looks like there's a hand coming from the stage, and his hand's meeting it. And for me, it reminds me a little bit of Nicky Byrne in 2016. You know, where he had that moment with the camera where he reached for the camera and the camera was here, but it was kind of awkward. He didn't quite meet it, and then the camera went away. And for me, it's a bit awkward looking, I've got to be honest. But again, it's not the actual, that doesn't matter as much as when it comes to the live semi-final when people will be voting. But there's still time to improve, I am sure. No, it was amazing, Steve says. And yes, absolutely agree with you there, that you can see the the preparation is on display from the very first second. Noah has used the past year very, very wisely. Absolutely. It's funny because Noah was the first person we knew about, wasn't she? We found out about her in August last year, which seems like a lifetime ago. Noah was announced as a performer. Took them a while to get the song. But now we have the song. Now we have the preview, the actual video of the song, which I loved. The staging of Noah Kirel is just fantastic. You know, I get winner vibes. I really, truly do. I'll go to Israel next year if it's there. I definitely will. Let me see. What are all people saying? I would like to see Ireland sing in Irish language again, as they haven't done so since 1972 in Edinburgh. That particular year, Ireland didn't do so well, near enough the bottom. It's different times then, so perhaps that it could be different now. In fact, 1972, the only song performed in English was the UK entry by the New Seekers, because Malta and Ireland were both at that contest as well in 1972. However, both sang in their other language. Okay, right. So moving on then from Israel, which I love, can you tell, to Moldova. Here he is. Here's Pasha. He's back again. Of course he is. And you'll see the updated photographs from today. So interestingly, I love the robes that Pasha is wearing. It's very very priest-like, isn't it? It's very priest-like. He looks really cool. I love the colours that match the song, of course, Swirly, Swirly. The backdrop matches his costume. It's all very uniformed. And on this particular photograph, you can see, I'm not sure, I can't remember offhand if the drummer at the back was included in the Romanian Moldovan national final. I'm not sure if he was, but they have added the drummer if not. And then obviously Epic Flute Guy, as he's been known now, as he's been called, joins him on stage with the two backing singers joining. And they obviously have a huge part to play, the backing singers, because it looks like they are moving on lots of different angles. The single horns that both are wearing are connected at one point. They are disconnected at another. They're moving around. And yeah, it looks really pretty. It looks very warm. And I think that it is certainly going to be one to be remembered. And Pasha, of course, is a very, very, very good performer. He's been there before. He knows what to expect. And yeah, speaking of being there before, it's time for the lady who is out in the lead currently as far as the betting odds are concerned, and that is Loreen, of course. And I have to say, the 30-second clip that was used today for Sweden, I didn't think showed off Loreen's vocal ability that much, unfortunately. Quite strained in parts. And even though in these particular photographs there are wide-angled shots, apparently there is going to be a lot of tight angles throughout this performance. And you can see in this one there's a smoke, which was very much a prominent feature, too prominent actually, at Melodifestivalen, where it actually almost overpowered her performance and her in the box. But I'm sure they will have that much more controlled in Liverpool. But yes, in terms of the staging, there seems to be a lot of tight angles, which Loreen says she wants. It's like a nature song. It's very much back to roots, kind of, and you can see that it's going to be a very intimate type of performance. And of course, the lyrics themselves are quite intimate too. Yeah, her vocals were off that I heard. Well, I heard anyway. And yeah, of course, that hasn't changed the odds. I'm just refreshing the page, the odds page as I speak here. And Sweden is still way, way, way ahead. Although they haven't, of course, come down since I think they were at 46% chance of winning about a week ago. That has now gone down to around 42%, but that's still that's amazing. So it is. So moving on then to song 12 of today. So the 15 performers, 15 countries took the stage just for 20 minutes. So it's a lot of moving back and forth for the producers and the technicians. And I say there's a few tired people tonight working in BBC as part of the production. But now we have Azerbaijan and Tural Turan, who of course have drafted in Alex Panay for the staging. Actually, earlier on today, there was a a few seconds released of their intro at the very beginning, and it does actually look very, very nice on screen, I've got to say. It's very, very nice on screen, and their costumes are really cool. I've got to say, their suits really look the part. And I did worry about this song, actually. I did worry about Terrell and Tehran. I thought actually it was a bit boring, the song. I thought it was kind of drifted along. Very, very pleasant, don't get me wrong. Pleasant, very radio friendly. But kind of drifted along and didn't really do much for me. But it looks like the staging is really pretty. And there's like nice bright pinks, very summery. For me, it's a little bit like, you know, the swinging 60s in London. You can almost see Sandy Shaw jumping onto the podium there, their Heart podium. Looks the part, and they sing very well also. I feel like me and my mum are in the minority that like Azerbaijan. Maybe we are in the minority. Some people think that Azerbaijan is a non-qualifier, but like Nian, you just said that, Nian, as I said. You're thinking that Azerbaijan is a sure non-qualifier. It's hard to say, but there's a nice sort of sedate way with the song, I've got to say, with Terrell and Tehran. They, like I said, they look the part, they sing well. I just worry for them that might be just a bit too sedate for people to actually want to pick up their phone and vote. But you never know. It does come. Azerbaijan, I suppose, are at an advantage having come after Israel, Moldova, and Sweden. So, you know, a bit like Moldova last year, coming after all those sort of quieter, slower songs at the grand final, that was a huge advantage for Moldova last year. Perhaps Azerbaijan could be had an advantage coming after all those up-tempo songs that immediately preceded. So yeah, that was Terrell Tehran. I wish them well, I really do. Now on to Czechia. They have, of course, had their second performance today. So of course you can see that the words of the song are prominent, the lyrics of the song are prominent on the back LED screens. Again, it's it seems to be a focal effect being used on their song as well. That's a part in the 30-second clip that they used. For me, it's quite, I was going to say messy, it's a bit shirty for me. I still haven't changed my mind on that. They're looking great. I mean, they're looking great. They're all in uniform as well. It's supposed to appear like they're all the same. And this is a great shot here. I like that particular shot from the stage. So they're using all parts of the stage, the backstage, and yeah, looks pretty. Czechia, let's have a look here on the betting odds. Czechia are currently 11th, so they are. The best bet, they were 29th at one point, and then they went down to 5th. Wow, 5th favourite on the 11th of March, which was kind of around the time they got selected. Then their odds have been drifting slightly from 5th to 7th for quite a while, 8th, 9th, and now 11th. So yeah, that is the trajectory of Czechia. Okay, so what are we saying, people? You're very welcome from Greece. Great to have you here. By the way, I'm on the OGAE Greek Facebook group. Thank goodness for Google Translate. That's all I can say. But it's great to be able to take part in the conversations. I am a big supporter of your lad this year, Victor Vernikos. I wish him the very best. And actually, if you get a chance, Evangelos, I have an interview with Victor here on the channel. It's down. It's not too far down the YouTube channel. Check that out. He's a great kid. And yeah, funny you say that. I seen that earlier on as well. The Poland just stole the Greek spot. I seen that as well. In terms of Czechia, Neon, you're saying I like Czechia's outfits, but I know some people disagree. I think they're probably going for that uniform look. We're all the same. All sisters of the world, of course, united, etc., etc., etc. They've all got the similar kind of braiding on the hair, so they're looking. It looks like they're going for that uniform aesthetic, and it probably will look much better on screen than what it does here. But I do actually, I have to say again, I do really like this picture from today. Kian, you're saying Czechia kind of disappointed or disappointing. Something makes it feel empty. Don't know what it is though. Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. It's for me, it's a little bit messy vocally. So second last to take to the stage today was the Netherlands. Now, the first time I heard Netherlands, as you may or may not know, the first time I heard it when I made my rating of the song, I gave it 5 out of 10. So it's very much 5 out of 10 indicates sort of middle of the road for me. It is kind of middle of the road. The photographs from today look nice. I love how intimate it is. They have a revolving stage at the point it moves round. I hope I don't get dizzy. But throughout, it does look very, very pretty in terms of how together they are, how intimate they are. And these photographs are serving as a point to prove that. Burning Daylight, of course, is the song title, so that could represent obviously the breaking of dawn in the background. And this nice picture reminds me actually of Sergei's staging. Do you remember in 2016? But at the very, very end, there's like a little ball of light. Some people thought it was like the Nurofen painkillers, but I quite like that there. I think what's going for Netherlands, from what I've seen, is the intimacy of the performance. I get a sense they're probably trying to go for their 2014 performance. Yeah, I get the feeling that they're trying to go with that kind of aesthetic, that kind of look, that intimacy, that togetherness. Whether it has the same result for them, I'm not so sure. They've changed the key register of the song. I think that's more to suit Dion than Mia, but I think in doing so, it sounds too high pitched for me. It sounds like still the wrong key. I'm worrying. I'm actually worrying how that's going to sound when they go to the higher part of the song towards the end. But again, time will tell. I of course wish the Netherlands the very best of luck. Where are they at in the betting? Netherlands is 18th. So yeah, so surprised. Just looking here, Evangelos at Greece again. They're like 30th in the betting odds. That's really surprising me. But yeah, so that was Netherlands. Now on to the final act of today. So it's the big finish from Finland. Everybody's going to say that, aren't they? It is, of course, our guy Karja. And he is looking every bit the part. The 30 seconds that they've used, I should talk about that in a little second. Just quickly going through that. Karja says that the backing dancers, his dancers, call this the caterpillar, is what they're calling it. That's how they're describing it. And actually, in this picture, this is taken from Karja's interview during Eurovision TV earlier on live on TikTok with Timur. And I think you can tell how tired Karja looks. He has been going full throttle from he has been selected. He hasn't. I don't think Karja's had any time off at all He's been performing at concerts throughout Finland since he was selected at UMK. He's been, I think he went to most of the pre-parties, and he's loving life and he's having a good time. But he himself said in an interview today that there's some issues with the vocals. I agree with that. Actually, I noticed in the 30-second clip that I saw earlier on that and heard that Karya is kind of being drowned. His voice is being drowned out by the backing track. So you can hear the backing track very well, the lyrics being sung. Can't hear him just as much. I don't know if that's a feature that will happen on the on the semi-final. I hope not. But time will tell. But I think Karya is very, very tired, and maybe he is holding back a little bit until the semi-final, which makes sense because there's no jury, of course, and he'll be relying on people to vote for him. And there's talk, of course, about him maybe winning the semi-final. I actually saw today as well. There's my OGA in Greece. They are reckoning that Alessandra might win the semi-final one. I'm not so sure about that, but that's what they think. Let's see. Let's see, what are we saying here? The Netherlands has grown on me a lot. Loved it at the start. Went down during the pre-parties, but might be top 5 now for me. Yeah, it's one of those songs that seems to, I think it's one or the other, isn't it? It's nowhere in between, even though I give it a 5 out of 10 the first time I heard it. Yeah. Speaking of Greece, it was a really bad decision for the Greek broadcaster to send this kind of entry with no juries on the semis. I think there's a lot of kids will relate to Victor. I think a lot of people will vote for Victor. He's very charming. He's a very charismatic performer. I quite like the song. It's a bit Ed Sheeran like for me as well, to be honest with you. And of course, he is in semi-final 2, which a lot of people are saying is the easier semi-final. Not to discount anyone taking part in semi-final 2, but I think he'll qualify. Finland. That's how Caterpillar's mate. He does. He absolutely does. He does look knackered, doesn't he? Here's a picture of him again. If I can get him up here, just bear with me. There it is. There he is. So yeah, he does absolutely look shattered. He told me he was tired whenever I interviewed him in Amsterdam. The first thing I asked him was, "How are you?" And he says, "I'm tired." Evangelos actually says Finland hasn't a chance with the juries. Fun fact, 1983 was the final contest where UK was the only country to sing in English, as Ireland was absent that year and the language rule was still in place. That's correct, yeah. Speaking still of Finland, I really hope Karya will pace himself. He will be exhausted if he keeps going that hard. That's my worry, and it has been my consistent worry for him, I've got to be honest. So that's case in point in terms of Victor. What Kane is saying is, I love the Greek entry. I can relate to the lyrics in some way. If he makes it to the final, he'll be getting a vote from me. You see, that's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. Can Victor carry off this trophy? Can he carry off the trophy? Will he win? Will he win the semi-final? Will he win the Eurovision final? I think Israel have a huge chance of winning the contest this year, I've got to be honest with you. Spain, I'm really keen to see the staging for Spain as well. I'm very excited about that. And yeah. Next week on Wednesday the 10th of May between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. Eurovision 365 will have a meetup. So anyone who's watching this from the YouTube channel or the Facebook group, if you're able to come and meet us, that would be absolutely fantastic. It'd be great to see people in person. And the venue is to be confirmed, but I should have that confirmed by the end of this week. and we will see. And it'd be great to see, I should say, you people, as many people as possible. I think Karya should have a final say, don't you?
Hello, hello, how are you? There's a microphone for you.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice
We're
to
here
meet
with
you
Karya,
too.
We're here with Karya, of course, from Finland.
Yeah, I'm a little bit tired because I'm not
Sure.
sleep so well because we came here today and so early morning.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I don't have the time.
There's a lot of rehearsals to do, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm so happy
Yeah.
because now I'm here and I'm waiting tonight
Yeah,
and wait what happens because so many people come here watching
of course.
that beautiful things what
Yeah,
happen
yeah.
now in here and I'm waiting.
Karya, were you expecting such a huge reaction to your song? Were you expecting such a huge reaction?
Not like this,
Okay.
but I'm waiting something
Yeah.
good happens.
Yeah.
But I don't waiting that.
Okay.
But I take it.
What do you want people to remember you by? How do you want people to remember you?
Maybe just normal guy from Finland.
Yeah, no, okay. He likes to cha-cha-cha.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
I'm normal guy and I'm humorist
Yeah.
guy and maybe like that.
Is it possible to get a cha-cha-cha? Would that be okay from you?
What?
Is it possible to do a cha-cha-cha? Would that be okay?
Do you okay? Do you wanna
you do it?
dance, dance or do you wanna sing?
Yeah,
in?
sing it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Okay. Are you ready? Yeah. Pidä kaksi käsi kiinni juomista niinku cha 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 ei. En mieti huomista kun tartun tuopista niinku cha 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 ei. Haluan olla sekasin ja vapaa huolista niinku cha 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 ei. Ja mä jatkan kunnes en enää pysy tuolissa niinku wow.
Yay!
Thank you.
I'd like to give you 4-leaf clovers for good luck for
Wow.
Eurovision Song Contest. So
Wow,
I hope it
this is
brings you
beautiful.
luck. Yeah, I hope it
Thank
brings
you,
luck.
pins. Yeah, I love it. Maybe I have to put it here.
Maybe it will match. It will match. Yeah.
Thank you.
Perfect. There we go.
So I think it's just fair that Karya had the last word of the night there. I was just checking there while that was on. It's actually the singer, the backing dancers call their human caterpillar. They actually call it the piggy train. So it's called the piggy train. That's what they call it, not the caterpillar. But it does look like a caterpillar. But they're calling it the piggy train. Yeah, that's we got two performers there for one, didn't we? I think a really fun moment for me during that clip was the lady in the red who was casually walking in the background, and next thing is this loudness of Karya. She's like, oh, what? So that was really fun. I didn't notice it when it happened. I didn't even notice Monica in the background because I was so focused on Karya. But had I seen Monica, I would have brought her in for the crack to have a bit of a dance along with Karya as well. That would have been so much fun. Just a quick look here at the updated odds, the updated betting odds that is. And as I was saying at the start of the broadcast, Sweden still way out in the lead. 42%, Finland 23%, Ukraine 5%, France 5%, Spain 4%, Norway 4%, Israel surprisingly still in 7th. I have a feeling that's going to go up very soon. And Austria in 8th, Italy 9th, and UK 10th. And what's really interesting for me is that the top 10 aren't really changing in terms of the positions. They're still staying in the same position, but they're not moving so much. But what's really interesting is the songs all like lower than 10th, so 11th down, they seem to be swapping about. And just as Evangelos was saying, Poland has overtaken Greece, and I just find that really interesting that the lower countries, if you want to call them, they are having a battle, it seems. It's a bit of a scramble going on. So yeah, it was a lot going on today. Tomorrow evening, or tomorrow's rehearsal schedule is as follows. So there's second rehearsals for Denmark, Armenia, Romania, Estonia and Belgium. and then we have the first rehearsals for the Big Five plus the UK. So Germany will start. They'll be the first of those nations. Then France, then Italy, Ukraine, Spain, and UK, and then later on in the evening. So 5:40 p.m. here. It will be rehearsals for the hosts, and that will go on to 7:30. So yeah, they're doing a lot of rehearsals. I think it's really good. I think the BBC are playing a blinder. They're really all over this, and there's a lot going on. Obviously, programming, there's a lot going on too, but it's all happening, isn't it? I can't believe we have concluded day 4 of the rehearsals. Tomorrow, it's the second and final technical rehearsal for Denmark, Armenia, Romania, Estonia, and Belgium, and the next time they'll be on stage, of course, will be when it's time to perform for an audience. So from next week, I will be able to bring you coverage of what's happening in the jury show, not the jury shows, the family shows, the afternoon shows. So yeah, it will be interesting. I'm really excited to see all that. Of course, I'll be broadcasting live at the Turquoise Carpet, the opening ceremony on Sunday, this coming Sunday. Can't believe I'm saying that. That's only a few days away. I'll be broadcasting live there, and you're very welcome to join me. If I'm able to pass on some messages to performers on your behalf, I will do that. Just let me know what your message is, and I will certainly pass that on to you if I can. So I'm afraid that Poland will not only will push out Greece in the second semi-final, but I think we'll climb up in the top 10 in the finals, ousting Austria or Italy. There's always one song, isn't there, that surprises everybody. Could Poland be that song? I think on a personal level, I would be happy for Blanka because she's had an awful lot of negativity being thrown at her, and she's held her head high. She was selected because of the voting procedure in Poland. That's how it happened, and yeah. So what are we saying here? It's most likely Sweden will be the most popular choice for the juries, but we'll rank Finland lower down. However, in contrast, the televoters will put Karja higher than Loreen. I don't think anything certain. I don't think, personally speaking, and this is just an opinion, of course, it's not backed up by anything factual. It's just an opinion, but I don't think it's a clear-cut thing that Loreen will top the jury vote. I don't think it's a clear-cut thing that Karja will win the televote. It is possible that a country that doesn't win either could come up and sneak up. Remember in 2016, that happened. Jamala, she didn't win either the televote or the jury vote, but the score was enough for her to bounce over, to skip over the other competitors, and that could be something that happens. Blanca from Spain, Israel again, I think it's got a good shot of winning, and time will tell, of course. So that brings me to the end of this broadcast tonight. I will be back again tomorrow evening. I hope you can join me then at the same time, same later time tomorrow, 9:15 Greenwich time, which I know is a little bit later for you over in Central European time, so it's at least 10:15 where you're at. So I know it's a bit later than normal. So if you have been joining me here, thank you so much. I'll be back tomorrow evening, as I said, and then on Friday, then on Saturday, live in Turquoise Carpet, and we shall see. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point you're making as well. Duncan Lawrence didn't win either, but won overall. And that's a very recent example, and that could happen again this year. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I don't think anything is decided yet. It clearly isn't decided, but we shall see. Rubbing my hands with excitement. But anyway, thank you all so much for joining me here again. I'll be back tomorrow evening. I hope you can join me then. Good night to everybody, and take care, and see you all very, very soon.